Oh, hey. What's up, everyone? Nothing like a little impromptu afternoon live. We are sauteing the beef up in here. We're just going to get it ready. We're going to stir it up a little bit because I have the formula for the most perfect braised beef imaginable. So, if anyone wants the formula, you've come to the right place. The key is to stir that shit around with a smile. So today was kind of crazy. Like normally I don't just do these fly by the seat of my pants kind of lives. I like to kind of psych myself up for it, I guess. But today, man, I couldn't stop laughing. It was like I felt like my ears had been assaulted. It happened so quick. It was just like wham bam. She didn't even buy us dinner or anything. All I know is I was peacefully sitting in Rabbit's chat. There wasn't nothing crazy going on. We were talking about music. I came up with, well, I didn't come up with it. Mermaid suggested um, a song that is fitting for our community. And so I went and posted it for the song of the day. And it was smooth sailing over there. And the next thing I know, I get a notification that Crazy Pants went live after we had all just been sitting there talking about, there's something going on. Let's give her some grace and be cordial. Even Rabbit was saying, don't be hard on her. And then she just came in like the damn Tasmanian devil and tried to put everyone in their place. It was obnoxious. It was a little aggressive, Gypsy, for fuck's sake. Let me say hi to everyone. Hang on. Okay. Blaine, Nikki B, hello, best friends. Summer, Queen Ashley, Mr. Nobody. Me and Mr. Nobody have fake beef coming, so be on the lookout. Texas Kim, my boo. Nana Kim, Catlin, Curious Idea. Navy Mom, hello. Skunk, Tiny T, Gypsalina. Yeah, she was giving Gypsalina some shit too, and she doesn't bother anybody. I've never seen Gypsalina bother anyone. She's on a roll, and I don't. Let's be honest. You never know what you're gonna get with her, right? Like you just never know. One minute she's cool, and I was enjoying her little parodies. Um, like I was even trying to get her to do one of me. I've been trying for a couple of weeks now. Just because I want to see. I want to see what I would look like coming up to her door. But now I don't think I want her to do one. I really don't. Like, don't go out and buy the red wig. Don't do it, Gypsy, because I have a feeling that, especially after today, you're probably going to be really pissed at me. And then you're going to do something nasty. And then I'm going to get really pissed at you. And it's just going to be craziness. So let's just not go there. She absolutely does not bother anyone. So, um, she flipped out of what yesterday, right? Like we all saw that. Where she was going after a crazy chicken lady and she was just, where does it come from? Like I choose, and I don't know how she gets up every morning. But I was telling the girls this morning, like every day when I wake up, I'm a big dork and I have a journal. And so, like, I write like 10 things that I'm grateful for, but I write it in a way like maybe it's stuff that hasn't happened that I want to have happen for my life. Cause, like, let's be honest, it's a big roller coaster right now. So, like, before I even go pee in the morning, I go out and like stick my feet in the grass. Yeah, I am a big nerd because that like sets the tone for my day. And if I skip any of the steps that I go through, it's quite obvious. It's very obvious when I have not done my morning ritual. Everyone will see it. I'll be grumpy. Um, I'm not as quick with my comebacks. I'm really tired and lethargic. Like I don't want to do anything that day. So it's just like a whole little. It's so cold here, you guys. My nose is running. It's like this whole little mental reset that I go through every day for myself. It's not to benefit anyone else. It's because I know how I am when I even remotely start to come unhinged, right? Because trust me, I have it in me to lose my shit just like anybody else. But I thought that what she did to Crazy Chicken Lady was extremely unfair because she's another one that I've never seen go after anyone or be rude. Like, there's been times where I've gone into like Gypsy's chat somewhere down the line where everybody in there hated me with a passion. And whenever I would go in there and let it be known that I was there, Crazy Chicken Lady was always the first one to greet me and make me feel like it was okay for me to be there. She's just a nice person. And I don't like it when I see like just genuinely kind people get obliterated on here. It's so unnecessary and uncalled for. And it makes me wonder like the people who are doing all of this, Gypsy, like what's going on with you that this is making you feel better? And even after the fact, after all that shit happened, Crazy Chicken Lady still went in Gypsy's chat, and Gypsy acted like nothing ever happened, like it was just another day in paradise. So it's been like this ongoing pattern for the last few days. And then the text messages came out. And I don't know if everyone else saw those text messages. I know that the other morning, Gypsy was acting like she couldn't find Chaotic's channel because she wanted to go over the text messages. But you guys, I remember her acting a little thrown off like that when she was in Jimbo's Discord. Like there was a couple of times that I felt like I had really offended her because one minute we were just talking about like a case and she was pointing me in the direction of like all this stuff to research, and then it wasn't 5 minutes later and I felt like she was snapping my head off about something. I don't do well in situations like that because all it takes is like 1 second of someone kind of treating me like crap or trying to talk down to me or something. There's usually not much coming back from that in the moment. I might after I cool down a little bit, but in that moment, I'm going to snap back. That usually doesn't turn out well, which I think is what Gypsy did today was a little premature snapback. I guess in response to the fact that Rabbit was live talking about her, but there again, it was very respectful, all things considered. And this morning when she was live and she was wearing her sarong, like I could see her babong sitting in the background. And I was just thinking to myself, first of all, why does someone need 3 lamps in one corner of their room? And second of all, She needs to sit down and hit that bong a few more times. Yes, you can come up. Hang on. Let me grab the link. Um, yeah, it was a little concerning. Okay. I'll put the link in the chat. So, Gypsy, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, I think that you owe some people an apology. Now, Mama T, I'm going to have to agree with the clip that was put out. I believe that Gypsy was right about that too. You get a little haywire and kind of bark at people. Hello?
Hey, best friend.
Hey, best friend.
So I know we've all been discussing this publicly and privately for what, like almost 2 weeks with Gypsy.
Yeah.
So those of you that were in her most recent live stream that she ended, I was actually the very end, the last 2 to 3 minutes, I was literally in the back chat. She could hear me. She didn't put me up on the panel. So it sounds like she's arguing with herself. And here's my take for what it's worth. And I just want to say this because, you know, irrespective of how many people think that I'm just some heartless cunt, those that know me know that I'm not heartless.
Definitely not that.
I just protect myself from things that trigger me. Well, Gypsy triggers me like my mom triggers me. And Curious Idea pointed it out very well a few comments up. She doesn't just have bipolar, she also has borderline personality disorder. Um, and these people will intentionally punish themselves, whether it's physical, emotionally, mentally, in order to like have some sort of feeling. Like it's a weird phenomena with personality disorders. Now, mind you, after I was on her panel today trying to like talk her down, and I was worried about her mental health, she text messages me
Oh, wow.
and tells me thank you for having her back after raging on me. So the fluidity between how rapidly she moves, in between happiness, anger, mania. I was raised by a crazy bitch, okay? Like Gypsy, like traitors, like all of these people that are meant, that they are manic or something. Like I live that. So that's a trigger for me.
Right.
But there's something about Gypsy that actually makes me have empathy versus apathy. I'm apathetic towards my mother. Gypsy, I have empathy and I don't know why because she is mean.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a cry for help in there somewhere amidst all the craziness. But I can't
Well,
quite pinpoint it.
I can't either because she's vicious to her husband. I heard her invoke her deceased daughter today, and I was like, not one person in our fucked up community has ever, ever weaponized her daughter's death. Never. We haven't. So, but that also comes with the attention seeking behavior.
Right. It's sad because so many people try to tell her, you just go about it a different way. then, maybe you wouldn't be having such a rough time. But she doesn't want to hear it. She views that as an attack.
But it's almost as if she makes it up to justify her current behavior because none of that has happened.
Yeah, I've
I
never
rem
seen anyone talk about her daughter ever.
August of 2023, I sat on a panel with her on her channel, and it wasn't a program that she wrote. And she told us about the loss of her daughter, and I sobbed. Like, so I don't know how much, like, and this isn't, everyone is free to do whatever the fuck they want. And this isn't towards you, it's towards anybody listening. Gypsy may be a circus, but we don't have to make her a circus. And as entertaining as her outbursts are, and they're funny, and we can point, hee, I don't think we should make it as our community's goal. And when I say our communities, I'm not talking about anyone but the mean girls chasing the stand, anybody that's over here. We should make her fodder because at
Right.
the end of the day, she is mentally unwell.
And I
I
would
mean, me,
love for her to be able to come to some sort of resolution with everyone. So maybe it could just stop because it's not good for her. It's not good for other people who let themselves become so enraged and engulfed with her antics.
yes,
And
I
I was,
agree. And I agree with that. I mean, when we added her to the Mean Girls community it would have been last September, September of 2023, and I fucking had a meltdown over Sarah and Mama T because Mama T, she is so ignorant, and that's not a disability. That is not a mental health condition. She just is low IQ and she is so fucking dumb that I got pissed off at Sarah. Had nothing to do with Gypsy, but Gypsy made it all about her, just like someone with borderline personality does. Had nothing to do with her. She misrepresents the facts in her favor. She conjures up things that didn't happen in order to make herself look like a victim. And I don't know. I just wanted to come up and say this because I know you have a bigger heart than I do, and you're more logical than I am. You're logic based versus me. I can be emotional at times, but you center a lot of the girls in our community with how level-headed you are.
oh, well, thank you.
Come on, you know that. You cheer us on about our health journey. I know irrespective of what happens in your real life, you are there for every single one of us in that chat. And I don't think you realize how much of an impact you make on others. But you've been around. You've been around a lot longer than the majority of us have been.
And I
When it
learned my fair share of hard lessons too. I came out of the gate, like really feeling myself. And I was put in my place a couple of times. And I think like that's kind of what I want Gypsy to do. I want her to take a step back and, just, I don't
she
know,
won't.
really
She
start
won't.
a clean
There's
slate.
no self-awareness.
Right. So, like, I don't know how to, I rack my brain trying to figure out how to get her to that point, but
Can't.
it's impossible,
It
I think.
is.
So it's
But
just one of those situations where the responsibility falls on all of us to, like, we can't change the way she's going to act. So we have to change the way we react.
yes. And that's what I think is really important. Yes, she's using whatever manufactured formula from Dr. Bombay, but you also have to look at it from the standpoint that she is mentally unwell right now. And she is the type that she will hurt others to make herself feel better. And that could be her husband, her autistic child. It's not going to be hurting us on the internet because she can't actually hurt any of us.
Right.
She can hurt the people in her real life, but I don't want to be a driving force behind that to
Mm-mm.
where and I'm not, and I don't want anyone to misinterpret this. You can be pissed all you want about her behavior, but at the end of the day, if we ice her out and don't give her oxygen to the fire that's burning, she'll go away.
Right.
And she said that to me today. Well, you just talked about icing out. I was trying to get on her level and say, I'm concerned about you. And yes, a year or so ago, I said, I like to gaslight people. I did. I don't. If you're not watching the journey of where I'm at on YouTube, then you're not paying attention because I don't intentionally go and gaslight situations anymore because I know that was sick. I get that. I've got self awareness, but I think with Gypsy, she is so starved for attention, but that's because of a borderline personality's perspective. It doesn't matter good or bad attention, it will never be enough. Never. So I think she does need to be iced out. I think,
Yeah, and instead of everyone getting mad at the fact that she's constantly referring to all of us collectively as crap creators, crap subs, we're not writing this right and we're not writing the show right and blah blah blah. Like we none of us take this that seriously.
no.
And so if that's what she wants is better quality subs and things like that, then let's give her what she wants.
And let's be realistic, she's a terrible screenwriter for her program. And she is in this delusional world. I truly believe she is stuck in the 1980s. Just
Right.
like when she said, like, she can look at Mamet and say, Mamet, you're like a 13-year-old with terrible audio. That's 100% accurate. Mama T spends her entire live stream screaming and saying the word people and acting like she's a victim when she's not. But she doesn't have the same self-awareness for her own behavior.
Yeah.
Does that make sense though?
It makes
She's
sense
so
to me.
I think we should ice her out, you guys. I think we should stop.
And I
Stop calling
think
her up
that is
on the piano.
probably as mean as that might sound to some people, as mean as it's going to sound to Gypsy, it's honestly one of the best things we could do for her as
I
far as
agree.
her mental health goes.
I agree. 100% I agree. Nope, there's been no update on Ernie. He's not out of jail, so that's a good thing, karma. But yes, Kim, I agree. Yes. The winter holidays seem to have a bigger effect on people, and it's because a lot of people that are living in areas, well, in the United States, especially if you're in the Midwest, uh, correct me if I'm wrong here because I know where you live, but the sun doesn't shine as much. And a lot of people also have seasonal affective disorder. The holidays, for whatever reason, it's the winter holidays that have the biggest impact on people's mental well-being. But Gypsy has used all of these excuses for her behaviors for her entire life. She chooses not to do better.
And I think that a lot of times with like parents who have lost a child, the holidays are particularly hard. Um,
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on there that I don't think any of us will ever truly understand. And I hope that she can get to a point within herself that she can change some of these behaviors. Like, I would hate for her to go into a community that's 10 times harder on people than we could ever imagine being. And then, if she pulls this crap in some of these communities that I've been in, she's
Yeah.
going to have a hard time. And I don't want that for her. As annoying as she can be sometimes.
I don't want that for anybody. Chasing, I mean, a lot of you are aware that Ashton's girlfriend's 12-year-old sister committed suicide in July of this year.
Yeah.
And she was 12 years old. And his future mother-in-law, who I try to be as supportive as possible with, but there's nothing we can do. If you lose a child, there's no, I don't even want to, I don't even know. I don't want to know what that feels like. I think that changes. So I have said in the past with the sexual assault that I endured in my home in the middle of the night, and I'm saying this, I'm being detailed because in my own home in the middle of the night with my baby sleeping upstairs and their life being threatened, that changes your brain chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine you losing a child and they're gone. I can't even imagine how that would fracture my mind. It
Right.
would be worse, you know? So I think when she lost her daughter, that compounded the borderline personality, the bipolar, and if you're not, and it's very typical for someone with bipolar and borderline to not be compliant with their medications. But
Yeah.
your brain is fractured. Like I can literally tell you, um, I am not who I was. I'm different. I am so different. I am I am so different. I can't imagine if I lost a child, it would probably be worse.
Yeah,
And
and I think
I'm
about
not,
that all the time. I look
yeah,
back on like the evolution of me, and I can see like each thing that I went through throughout my life. Like, I can see the changes that it made in that moment. And I couldn't at the time,
yeah. I
but
think losing a child is the absolute worst thing that any human being will ever endure. If you have not had a
most
child and
of
you have not lost a child, I think it pales in comparison to every other trauma in this world because being a parent, you are inherently connected to your child by DNA. And I think the fracture there, but you also have to address that and deal with it, you know?
hmm
But not everybody will, especially based on what we know from Gypsy. She's had a very traumatic life. And if you have known Gypsy and you have listened to Gypsy, and I'm not victimizing her, so I just want you to understand, and maybe this will help you have some empathy. If you listen to Gypsy, she talks about her previous jobs in certain professions and how she felt inept, how she felt abused, how she was always a victim. You take that mentality and then you lose a child with these mental health disorders. This compounds and it compounds and it compounds, and there's zero, zero, zero self awareness with anything. And
right.
I just think as a community, our community, we should work on just icing her out versus making her fodder.
And let's be honest, nobody's ever going to get an apology from her. That's not going to
No,
happen.
you
So,
won't.
um, like, I think for her getting to a point where she can admit any wrongdoing is very hard for her. And that's true for anyone. No one wants to feel like they've failed at something. And, some people are just incapable of actually saying it out loud. So, for anyone that feels like they need an apology, I think most of us know it's not going to happen. So, for your own health and well being, just let it go. Yeah, she doesn't know how to accept kindness. Can you guys hear me? My,
Yes.
okay. My little thingy was doing something weird.
Well, she can't just accept kindness. She's the okay. So I've been trying to follow this Gypsy drama for a few weeks, and I go in and out on Bells, and part of it is my job at Taco Bell. The other part is I I have been really like walking away from a lot of things for the last few months, and it's because of my own like I've been doing my own inner working. Like I know I was toxic as fuck when I came onto this platform. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna razz people like fucking crackhead mayor or Ernie if he comes back. But I think we have a due diligence, and I'm speaking to you, Kels. I'm speaking to Mammoth if you're listening. Leave Gypsy alone. Let's ice her out and let's do it because this is no matter if we're kind to her or if we are calling her out, it doesn't matter. She doesn't get it.
Yeah.
She doesn't get it.
And she might
This,
pull.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, wasn't sure if you were cutting out. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Oh, I was going to say, it doesn't mean that she won't try to pull the switcheroo on everyone. Like she just did
Shh.
recently.
Right.
She was being nasty and then she was quiet for a couple of days and then she came back with all these funny parodies and it was making people like,
Yep.
hang out with her again and try to have fun. And then just like that, she flipped the switch again.
Yep. And then that's why I think Bells, and I think Kels and Sarah just need to stop. I think Chaotic needs to stop. All of us have a higher like an intellectual ability to look at things, deal with them. Gypsy does not. And again, I'm not excusing her behavior. I think we should just ignore the behavior. And at this point, I'm going to continue to say, let's ice her out. Kels Bells, you're way smarter than her. You can do your best, but I think that we're picking on a 5-year-old at this point. She's like 5. We
Yeah.
can pick on Mama T. That would be way more entertaining. And
And
I'm being
honestly, if
facetious.
the beef with Kels was over the whole phone call situation, like she's never going to admit to doing that, right? She's never going to admit it.
Nope. I
Um,
got blamed for it. What the fuck?
yeah.
Like
So at
I'm
this point,
literally working. I've been working on my own shit for months. And if you have not seen the change, those of you in the fucking audience, then I don't know. You're absent. You're absent. But she won't. Neither will Mama T. They're gonna just why don't we just watch Mama T and Gypsy fight it out? We don't need to do it. Yeah, who cares? Who cares, cowbells? My kids get messaged, my kids get harassed. Who cares? We raised warriors, not weak bitches, okay?
And
Well,
she's
I
gonna keep
agree.
doing it. So,
It'll never stop.
mhm.
She will make herself a victim irrespective if she's even involved. I don't know, chasing. I look at this woman and I'm like, let her die in peace in her home with her cats. Leave her alone.
When I think one thing that really made me, take a pause was those text messages about her husband.
Yes.
That bothered me. And it takes a lot normally to
Yes.
bother me in any way, but that was disturbing.
Yes. Very disturbing. And like I had said before, I don't care how pissed off I could ever get with my husband. You would never, ever find a text message of me saying I would poison him.
Right.
So he died so I could get his money. But that's because Gypsy is not on our level intellectually. She's stunted by the abuse she endured as a child. She is unwilling to seek help to fix that. That's all.
And I feel like the reason she's so like stuck in that specific time period, like the 80s and stuff, is I feel
Trauma.
like that was the last time she genuinely had anything in her life that made her happy.
Yep.
Like
It
that was
was,
the last core memory she has of true contentment and happiness, and she wants to stay stuck there.
well, I don't think she wants to stay stuck there. If we know anything about psychology, we can look back at
It's her
um,
comfort zone,
she
remembering that time.
something traumatic happened during that time period, and that's where she stunted. So if you look at children and as they're teenagers or even prepubescent, if they are abused, um, they typically stop mentally and emotionally maturing from that age on. Or let's say they had zero significant trauma and they started to use drugs or alcohol, let's say at the age of 13, like Mama T, that's the age they're stuck at. Mentally and emotionally, they can't move past it because they have not had the counseling or the awareness to realize, hey, I'm fucked up. I need to grow up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Love you, Frank.
Hey, Freeside. So I think everyone in the chat is pretty much in agreement that we can, like, as nasty as she's been to people recently, it's best to just let it go. Plus, it's the holidays, for crying out loud. I know it's hard
Oh,
for some of us
yeah.
to let things go. Like, because sometimes when I get super duper pissed off, it's hard. I'm stubborn and I don't want to let that go.
But people can only piss you off if you're not indifferent to them, right?
Right.
So, like, everyone will message me and be like, oh, traders anonymous are saying this. What do I say in chat? I don't give a fuck. Why don't I give a fuck? Because I'm indifferent to them. If I don't give a fuck about how you think about me, you're not going to get a response other than that's stupid or what a piece of shit to make that up because I'm indifferent because I have zero investment.
Right.
Same with Mama T. Like, now I care what you think about me. I care about what all the mean girls think about me. I care kind of what Kel's Bells, not 100%, but about 50%. If Kel's Bells was to turn on me tomorrow, I would not cry about it. But I am close to the girls in my community. I'm not indifferent. I think we need to approach this and we need chaotic, Sarah, all of these other women to grow the fuck up as well because they clearly are not indifferent to Gypsy. They're super obsessed with Gypsy and taking her down. Listen, this bitch is at the lowest. Like, look at where she lives. Look at her life. She's miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I think Peach, chaotic, Sarah, and this is no shade to Sarah because Sarah's the only one that I have some respect for. But you guys need to be indifferent and not give a fuck. Move on. Laugh at them.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't the only instance where we can apply this lesson, right? This is for like
Correct.
with anything going on within the community. Like, I see so many people throughout the day of just like glancing through chats and stuff, people saying that they're tired of this and remember when it was better. And it's like, okay, we all have control of the reins here. We can all
Mhm.
decide to make it worse or make it better. So when we're looking at situations like with Gypsy, I mean, you can apply that to just about any situation because there's lots of mentally disturbed people out here running around.
I think we all have our own like issues, but I think it's the difference
I
between
definitely. Mm-hmm.
acknowledging it and working on it is the difference. Now I'm always gonna troll people, but when I think with Gypsy, I don't know what it is because she was such a fucking asshole to me. I still look at her as somebody that will never be any happier than she is in the moment that we see her, and it's all disingenuous. She's not happy.
Well, see, telling truth, I don't agree with that. I don't think that she's done or said anything worse than any of the rest of us out here, honestly. I mean, you can't just make that
Who are you
statement.
talking to?
Telling truth to, it's just another one of
I can't
those,
see him.
you're the worst person in the world, you've done lots worse. And
Oh no.
telling truth,
Mm-mm.
you have to, like, where's your beginning and end point that you're coming to that conclusion? Because are you including all the stuff that other people are currently doing up to date? Or
Will you
are you
highlight
just,
that comment so I can see it? Nick, the self-admitted no, I do not have bipolar personality disorder. I'm sorry, traders. I'm sorry. And that is traders. You can tell by the way it's kind of like a linguistic oversight. This is how she types. Talk about misery drags her own kid into bullying. No, that's so far from the truth. Now, do I teach my daughter to not deal with bullies? Fuck yeah. You've seen the videos, traders. She, SD, her, and her mom both have bad. No, sorry. I have never once had to have a psychological evaluation for any fucking reason. I've never
well,
been a cutter. I listen. Typical traits of borderline personality disorder, aside from the obvious, they cut, they burn, they do stuff for attention. They will love bomb people when they first meet them, and then after they love bomb them, they'll find a reason to reject. If you know me, I don't love bomb people. If you love bomb, I run from you, actually. I can't stand it. It's a trigger point for me. Hey, Chicky.
yeah.
I cannot deal with love bombers. So that is actually factually dishonest. Hey, Brett. Hey, look, there's my internet husband. Hey, Raylan. Hey.
And telling truth, that's, you're just reiterating the point that I just made. It's not, it's not a pissing contest. As much as
It
everyone
is
wants to
not.
make it a pissing contest about who did what worse, no, those rules don't apply here because we can all be dirty little assholes when we want to be. I can be.
The twat du jour. First of all, I don't love bomb people. I think it's disgusting. In fact, my friend Texas Kim, she is an unbeknownst love bomber, and that's because she is Southern. And I had to say, girl, stop. Like, we had a moment there where I was like, I feel like you're being disingenuous because people that love bomb, like Traders is a super love bomber. She manipulates the fuck out of people with her love bombing. If you come at me with the whole, oh, I love you, you're just so great, I want you to step back because I can't handle that. So therefore, I don't behave that way, telling truth too. In fact, I find myself a little bit more cold as ice. Ask the girls that know me around here. But if you prick me in the sense of like an emotional response where I have high empathy and I know you're dealing with some serious shit, I'm there for you. But I'm not a love bombing person. I think it's gross. And
Yeah,
that's not, everybody has different love languages. I can pick out a BPD person from a mile away. But even if you love bomb or you come off too strong, I will step away because I can't handle it. If I was BPD, I would be love bombing them back.
yeah, it gives me like traumatic flashbacks sometimes when people
Hmm.
get a little carried away with the love bombing. It's like it reminds me of Zsa Zsa Zsa. Oh my gosh, that chick used to lay
Oh,
it on thick.
oh, I still have all of our text messages. My God, I went through them like about 2 months ago and I was like, holy shit.
I have like 181 unopened Discord DMs from her, and I'm
You know what?
afraid to open them.
Let me just let me just say this. Peachy, the always victim. Chicky is just like Nick. No, Chicky is a better human than I am. Let me tell you why. I barely know her, but I know that she has better morals than I do. And when I received a text message from a text now number, and I did a video that indicted Chicky, Chicky was pissed. She sent me a message going, where did you hear that? Chicky never said shit. Chicky doesn't share secrets. Chicky is actually a good human being.
I like Chicky.
If you watch Chicky across all the different platforms she hangs out in, she's actually a human being that is not only good, she has morals, and she'll come to you direct if she is like, bro, where did you get that information? Because I didn't tell you that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll clarify it. Because she feels so badly. She doesn't want anyone to think she violated any type of relationship. And I can agree. I wish I could be more like her, but I'm not. I'm me. She is cool, you guys. I think if you guys get to know her, if you watch her in other communities and you get to know her, maybe chatting occasionally, and we don't chat often, I think you'll have a respect for her like you do chasing. Her and chasing are a lot alike, actually.
Yeah, I like Chicky.
I am. No, that's not love bombing, Rabbit. This is and I know you're being funny, but this is my experience with people. Chicky and chasing have a lot of the same. And I know I could go to CJ and talk to her about anything and nobody would ever know about it. I know I could in fact, I did go to Chicky about something and I told Chicky some stuff and I can almost guarantee 99.9% even her boyfriend doesn't know about it. Does that make sense? And that's not a love bomb. That's an honest assessment of somebody's character.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. And that comment, where did it go? Rappers in here trying to. Rapper, come on, fool. No, it's not always just seeing good in people. Like, there is legitimately something that not so good people will do to others, which is love bomb them. I mean, it's a legit thing that people do. So if you've ever been in a toxic, shitty situation or relationship or friendship or parent child relationship, even where someone has love bombed you in order to gain control of you, then yes, when you see people doing that and coming on too strong, it can kind of freak you out. It doesn't mean that you're not trying to see the good in people. It just means that instinctively, because of things you've gone through, the walls go up. So it's not always about just overlooking the fact that it could be a love bomb and trying to find the good in people. I think that people who have been traumatized at some point in their life, we have different ways of wading through people in our lives.
And some people don't know that it. So, Texas Kim, you know I love you. Some people don't realize, like people like me, when you're overly nice, I'm automatically suspicious. And I had to get to know Texas Kim. Does that make sense? Like she's genuinely just a Southern belle. She's nice. And that was weird to me.
Okay, but telling truth, are you speaking from personal experience or are you speaking from an opinion you have made based on bits and pieces you've seen? Because I mean, you
But
have
there's
to just accept the fact that on here, people only allow others to see what they want them to see. So until you actually get down to the nitty gritty and talk to people on a more personal level, then are you really making a fair assumption?
so like let me just give you an example. People that are nice or overly nice because of my experiences in life being raised by someone with borderline personality and bipolar, I automatically think I'm being manipulated. Um, in the last 10 months, after eradicating people from my life that were using me or our community for their own goals, and I'm not, please do not, again, once again, I'm 100% responsible for my own behavior. But some things came up in my personal life where I decided I needed to seek counseling. And I have been working on myself. I've been realizing that I was very toxic on this platform, and I use this platform to weaponize my own toxicity. I'm still toxic to a certain extent, and I'm still very wary of people that are nice. I think people that are nice, there's ulterior motives. So, with that being said, I appreciate all of the women in my community that each and every one of them have taught me something that I needed to be taught because I have learned that I need to be self aware, right? And then we're talking about Gypsy right now, and she's not self aware. And I don't think we should be pushing her over the edge because it won't be our fault because she is not self-aware of her problems, but we could be a mitigating factor if something happens.
Right.
That's the
And
biggest reason I came up here.
I don't want that weight on my shoulders. I mean,
Right.
We've all seen what's been going on. We all kind of get it to an extent. So I think that this is just one of those sleeping dogs that we have to let lie. It's the best thing for all involved, because otherwise it's just going to go on and people are just going to keep getting in a tizzy, and life is too short for that shit.
And truly, what's the end game?
Right.
What's the end game with Gypsy? Gypsy is lacks self-awareness. She's never going to change. She may temporarily accept like an apology that she really isn't owed because she's just as guilty, but she doesn't have the mental acuity to realize that she's at fault as
Mhm.
well.
And by all means, I don't want to push her into calling someone's family for real. I mean, I think that she's capable of doing that. And I don't want anyone to have to go through that. I
I
don't.
mean, I don't know if you heard it today because you could only hear her side when I was up on panel and I was backstage and so was Rabbit. Rabbit didn't speak though, but she says, I'll call your husband. You want me to call Frank? Call him. Do not call Frank, Gypsy. I just think that we're doing more damage than we are good with Gypsy.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, if you want to laugh or giggle about it, there's ways of privately doing that. This is one of those times where, like I talked about last time, at some point it has to get to a place where someone has to put their sword down and be the bigger person. And I think
Agree.
that's where Mamet got confused the other day. Mamet, you should have taken the truce. Like, you really should have, because all that meant, it didn't mean that we were going to paint each other's nails and have sleepovers. It just
Mm.
meant that we probably wouldn't talk about you as much. But the fact that you just adamantly refuse is probably going to make me want to talk about you a little bit more. All in good fun, though, because I don't want to send her over the edge either, honestly.
Oh, I think she's mentally sound enough that she can not go over the edge, but I was offering Mama a truce. I wanted to see what her reaction was.
Yeah.
And I knew she would deny it. I knew she would justify it. You did XYZ, Nicolina. Yeah, but so did you, Mama T. We're both equally guilty here. And I'm gonna razz her for that. She was in Gypsies today going, she just wants people to come on the panel so she has content. And I was like, wow, what a good look, Mama T, because
Yeah.
you spent the better part of 3 years saying, come up on the panel, come up on the panel.
And
You
then
know
when
what I
you get on
mean?
her panel, she boots you off.
Yeah. Well, listen, I I did what I did to her grandchild's photo because she was accusing my husband of sexually abusing my daughter. She was making claims about Jimbo that were very similar. I told her to stop, or I was going to make her stop. And when I took that photo of her grandchild with an X over its face, she stopped. Stop making those fucking claims. Stop.
Right.
My husband is not your father, Mama T. You watched your dad rape a fucking 10-year-old
And then blamed the poor girl.
and then blamed her and defend your father still to this day. No. No. Yeah, I don't want a truth on Mama T. I just wanted to see if she would put her money where her mouth is.
Yeah. And she was
I'm
fired
just
up in Gypsies today. And I mean, Gypsy was right. Mama T is going to go on her channel and turn it into content. If Gypsy doesn't panel up with her tonight or give
yep,
Mama T the opportunity to be on a panel with her, that's exactly what's going to happen.
yep. Mama T wants Gypsy on her panel. That's how Mama T has been. I mean, how many times did she call Sarah up on the panel, Charlie up on the panel, Renee up on the panel, come up on the panel? Like, That's where the joke comes from. Come up on the panel is not Gypsy. It's in reference to Mama T harassing Sarah. Come up on the panel, Sarah. It's
Yeah.
never ending.
Yeah. So, Gypsy, we're going to just chill. You need to chill too. Enjoy your Christmas with your husband. Be thankful for what you have. And just quit taking this shit so seriously, honestly.
This is not a program. This is not a show. There is no script. Live streams are, what do we call that? Off the cuff.
Yeah.
You're not a news channel. I think it's time, Gypsy, for you to do some hardcore internal review. Hey, Izzy. Yeah, the 12 steps of YouTube, Pendar. Christmas doesn't make me crazy.
Liberator, no. I offered her to come on my panel and do an interview with me a few months
Multiple
ago,
times.
and I had to go on her panel, and she ended up booting me at the end.
Hmm. What was that? That was back in like August, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was either late spring, early summer, somewhere around there. Um, and actually, it ended up turning to just be an interview about me. Like somehow she flipped
Yeah.
it around, and we were only talking about me. And then I got booted. So
I watched,
whatever.
if Gypsy, if you're listening, I was watching a TikTok today of this new mother who had a baby in October. Mom and dad are both doctors, and their beautiful baby daughter was diagnosed with AML leukemia at age 5 weeks.
Oh,
The chance of this child surviving past the age of 1 is about 5%. In my previous position, any infant that was diagnosed with any type of leukemia, it was very rare for them to live past age 1. So I think at this point in your life, you need to look back and realize how lucky you were to have your daughter for as long as you did.
right.
And I know that sound maybe harsh, but I
Yeah.
have watched many children die.
Yes.
Many
Some
children die.
mothers don't even get to watch their baby take their first breath. They're already sleeping when the mom gets to hold them for the first time. And that's just, I mean, everybody deals with their own situations. A lot of parents have lost children. But that being said,
Yes.
I don't think that it's any easier for any one set of parents. Like, I freak out if I don't know where my kids are for too long.
Amen. Amen. I have Life 360 for mine, and
I
if
do
I
too.
don't,
And when
even
they're
my
gone,
adults, even
I'm
my
constantly
adults.
checking.
I mean, I'm not constantly checking, but I do maybe twice a day, and I am thankful to have 3 adult children that I regularly talk to, and then Maggie, she's my biggest worry because she's still a baby.
Right.
I I think maybe if you believe in Christ, pray for Gypsy, pray for her,
Mm-hmm.
or hold a good thought for her if you're more spiritual than religious, because Ken is clearly not doing his job as her husband. She needs a mental health intervention. She's clearly not taking her medications. I think we're doing a bad job as mothers, grandmothers, fathers, if we're fucking with her at this point because she's clearly unwell.
Right. And even
Ignore her.
if you're not at a point within yourself where you can send up a good thought for her, then that can be one of the things that you work on for you. Because I know I've already told all the mean girls, but today is the 12/12 portal, and that is
Yes.
the last one of the year. It's when the energy is at its highest. So it's the perfect time to manifest all the good things that you want for yourself within the next year. And maybe one of those things is that you need to soften your heart a little bit, or whatever you need to do for yourself that will allow you to, you know, send positive vibes to people like Gypsy or someone else that you feel has wronged someone.
And it's not about just, listen, I get tagged in shit all the time by the mentally unwell in the community. They try to invoke an emotional response and they just don't get it from me. We can ignore Gypsy. Her husband is probably just as toxic. Clearly, that's why they are still married. Okay. They probably feed off of each other's toxicity. That doesn't mean we have to feed into it. And I truly believe at this point, an ice out with Gypsy is probably the best for her sake. Irrespective as if we want entertainment or content, I don't think we should make her our content. I
Right.
just don't. I mean, if you do, more power to you. I'm just saying for me, I'm gonna clip her. I might sing some songs about her, but I'm not going all in on her. Um, I think she's a very sad human.
Yep. So we can just all collectively agree that we're not going to be a part of her sadness anymore. I know I'm not going to be, because let's be honest, we all have a little bit of crazy in us. I do. I'll
Yeah,
I have no problem saying that
absolutely.
I have a pair of crazy pants for almost every day of the week.
Amen. And menopause doesn't help either, does it, Chasing?
Hell no. Like, oh, I used to think I can't wait till I get go through menopause. I'm so tired of this. And now it's like knocking on my door and it's not fun. Not fun at
Who
all.
has who has the Mama T song? You have it loaded?
No, I don't.
Where is it? I will fucking play it. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I love that song.
Well, someone try to
Grab
find
it.
that song and we'll
Who
end
has
with
it? I'll
that.
play it. I'll look for it right now. I'll look for it right now. Mama T, can you hear me now?
So while we're looking for this song, maybe mom wanted me to give an update on Lisa Key, which, if you
I don't
guys
know.
know, that's the first case I ever covered publicly. Her son was killed a few years ago, but it was set up and they told her that he unalived himself, but nothing has added up that would bring us to that conclusion. So, just a lot of shady stuff going on in the 13th district in Tennessee. Sadly, a year ago, Aaron's brother passed away. So she has
Oh,
now lost two children.
oh,
And I'll post pictures because every year she makes flower arrangements to go on, well, both of their graves now at Christmas time. And so this year they're really pretty and they're coordinated. I just can't imagine what she's going through, losing two sons. And, she's a fighter, though. She's still out here fighting, even though she knows she'll probably never get justice for Aaron. She's still out here bringing awareness and fighting for other families who have gone through similar situations. So that's the
oh.
update on her.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has that song. I know we used to play it. All right, yep. It's There's nobody. Rabbit, this is your fault.
The last place I remember seeing it was on Traders.
I know, I was just there looking for it.
Yeah.
I
Man.
can't remember what live stream it was, though. I thought maybe she had it uploaded
Yeah, I thought it was like
independently.
I thought it was like a video or a short, and I want to say that I found it under a playlist, maybe a parody playlist. That could be some completely different channel I'm thinking about. But that song was
Oh,
a banger.
it was.
Now I always catch myself singing the song from Yeah Mom's videos. But back in the day when the Mama T song first came out, I would sing that just randomly throughout the day. Start singing the El Camino.
El Camino. All right, let me look at Constance too. She has all of the playlists.
I mean, I guess telling truth, it's the car song. It's the one where it talks about living in El Camino.
Hmm. I'm shocked. Constance Sue has more Ernie playlists than she does Nicolina playlists. This is amazing.
She's got a lot of freaking playlists. I have all my playlists hidden because they're all like so scatterbrained and
I have all mine hidden
organized.
too. Could could White Rabbit come up and sing it?
Yeah. I'll drop the link if you want to come give us a personal encore. That just means that a new video has to be made, honestly.
Amber, Constance Sue has more playlists of Ernie than me. I am shook. I am shook. Did you just shit in my car? Rabbit, do you remember what month it was? I know it was in 2023, correct? And Rabbit, I'm gonna put this bug in your ear. I think we're coming up on 2 years that you received emails about me. Do you think Anissa could have been behind that? Because Anissa's been behind some serious fuck shit the last 8 months. And I'm still really pissed about the Frankie phone call that everybody believed and now suddenly they don't. Frankie H is crazy. All right, so it was last year. Let me go to my Nicolina account. Maybe I have it there. I know you're really pressed about the song, but this was like the best song. No, no alchemy, no. Did you shit in my car?
Nobody heard me tinkle, right? Like I know I was muted. I
No.
checked it 3 times, but I'm always so paranoid.
Okay, listen, I'm trying to, so I know that the song about me cutting off wieners, that happened, that was in 2023. That was like in August of 2023. It was after I came home from Tennessee. So, White Rabbit and Kim Maple Syrup, White Rabbit, I found a baby, White Rabbit, no. What are you doing? Are you hitting a bong?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it sounds like it. All right, hold on. Let me see if this has it.
I have COPD. I can't handle that anymore.
All right, nope, I don't have it either. Oh, what a bummer. That was like a White Rabbit great hit. All right, I'm gonna pop down. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem.
All right. Love
Bye.
you, best friend.
Love you, best friend. Well, guys, I think that's all I got. I just wanted to come hang out for a little bit, but I do encourage everyone to take advantage of the 1212 portal today. Um, I can post a link on my community page and it will tell you exactly how the 1212 portal will affect your sign. Um, so just click on the little link and then look for your zodiac sign in the article and it'll tell you what to expect. And I personally like to use the 369 method. What you're going to do is just get a journal or a notebook or a piece of paper, napkin, whatever. And obviously, a glitter pen. It doesn't have to be a glitter pen. Get something to write with. And you're going to write three things, or you're going to write something that you're grateful for 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. And you're going to do that for 3 days. So, but the way you're going to write it, it's not like, I hope to win the lottery. What you're going to write instead is, I'm so thankful and blessed that I have won the lottery and now I'm financially independent. So you're going to write it as if it's already happened to you. And that's a good habit to get into going into the new year because we all know that we always have like a million different resolutions, and 9 times out of 10, we break almost all of them. So it's just, you really do set the tone for what your life is going to be like. If you're constantly negative and thinking that things are just not going to work out for you, then you're going to carry that energy through everything you do in life and it's going to affect everything. Whereas if you're more positive and you look at things like, yes, I'm going to get everything in life that I want, then you're going to have good things happen because you are setting the tone for everything that's going to happen to you. So we really have a lot of control over our own happiness. We can't always make everyone else around us happy, but we have control over how we feel about ourselves and about others. I don't really do resolutions either. I just do more like a plan. Like I just try to come up with a plan, because I think that's a lot of us are just barely hanging on. But we just got to make the best of the cards that we've been dealt and improve in areas that we can and just get it figured out. Stop eating sugar. I have pretty much cut all sugar out. But man, lately, since Thanksgiving, I want to eat all the things that are bad. Okay, let me grab the link. Okay. Oh, never mind. Crap. False alarm. Well, I'm going to go look for the song too. And if anyone else feels like looking, I know I had it saved, but when I cleaned out my phone to do the update, there was a lot of videos that said that they weren't available anymore. So that might have been one of them. But I'm still going to go out there and search far and wide for it. If anyone finds it, just send it to someone, send it to me or Nick or somebody, and we'll get it played. Because it's a great song. Okay. Well, everyone have an amazing evening and thank you for being here. Just remember to hug your loved ones. You never know if tomorrow is going to come, and be nice to people for crying out loud. As nice as you can possibly be. All right, everyone, have a great night, and I will see all of you soon. I just love your faces. Bye.